What's going on, YouTube? Who says that? I don't say that. That's not me. That's not my personality. Anyways, in this video, we're going to talk about fake job postings, or job postings that are purposely misleading because they have a dual purpose. There's two types of job postings that are fake. One of them is just because they're using applicants like you and me and whoever else applies to build their application at their company. There's this scam where they post a junior level job and they make it look really, really good. Junior level, remote, 140K. They know it's gonna look fantastic. And so a bunch of people apply to that job. And because you never talk with any of the other applicants, you don't know how many have applied, but you know with such a ridiculous job posting like that, it's gonna have tons of people that have applied. And they'll email every single person a small piece of the app to build. You just think it's a regular test. You're just like, oh, this is like, 3-4 hours? I guess I'll do it. And then you submit it and they either ghost you or they respond and say, we've moved on with someone else. And in reality, they've moved on with no one else. They've chosen no candidate. In reality, you and everyone else that has applied to that job has been building their application for free. And here's the thing, it's like really hard to prove. You can't know. You can't email them and be like, hey, did you use my application to build your company? Did I just solve like an actual work problem here? Is this, like, you can't prove that. And even if you email them that, they're not gonna answer you, so it's not gonna matter. And you don't have any of the emails of the other applicants to know what part of the application they've built. This has actually happened to me before. I applied to a job, they sent me back a code test that had to be built in React. It was like 8 hours long, which I thought was really, really weird. But I did the code test anyways, and I submitted it, and I waited a couple weeks, and I never heard back. So I emailed them and said, hey, is there any more information from me? Are we gonna move forward with this? What's going on? And again, they never responded. About another week goes by, and I log on to their website, and I see that their website is the website that I built for them. It was an API that looked up a bunch of books and audiobooks and a bunch of media, just like a search playlist. It was exactly what I built, styling and all. It still had the comments in the web page when I opened up the inspector. And I was like, I made this. And so I emailed them and I said, hey, this is my code. You left the comments in there, I can see it. They didn't respond again, but they deleted the comments and then pushed it to production. And what can you do? Like, what do you do against that? You can't email them. They're not gonna respond. You can't sue them because you don't have any contact information besides a no reply email for the most part. So what can you do? And there's really no way to know if you're getting put into this kind of situation. So what I would recommend to make sure that you don't fall into one of these job scams is to ask for compensation if the job application gives you a code test that's over 4 hours long. If it's over 4 hours long, don't do it for free. You know, if you're doing it during the week, you're already working 8 hours usually, and you come home and you do another 4 hours, and you know, you're not gonna be able to do your best work, so you save it for on the weekends when you have time. But still, don't do it if you're not gonna get compensated for it. So anything over 4 hours, just ask for compensation. If you ask for compensation, they're gonna do one of three things. They're gonna say, well, we don't provide compensation for this, take it or leave it, which means they're kind of looking for a sucker who's willing to, you know, build it. Or they'll say, oh, we didn't necessarily plan for compensation, but we're not providing that, and it'll be a lot more of a down-to-earth response that you'll get from them, like totally unaware that people even asked for compensation. Or three, they'll be like, oh, I didn't actually consider that. Yeah, what kind of compensation were you thinking? And then it doesn't have to be much. It's just to show that you respect your time, and they should respect your time too. Like, you're not out here, like, you want to do good work, and you are doing good work, but hey, you should respect my time. Yes, I need a job, or I want this job, but you have to understand that I have value, and I'm not just gonna give that to you, you know, for free completely. I mean, there's this little gray area that we all have to kind of navigate through, but this has happened to me. I applied to a job that was a 2-hour code test estimate, and in the job application it says this is a compensated code test. You will be paid $40 an hour for the code test, and the code test was go at your own pace. So it was just like an easy $80. Even if you failed, it was like a hacker rank test, and it was just like fill the algorithms out and make it work, and or run the tests and make all the tests pass. But even if you didn't and you finished in less than 2 hours, he still paid you $80 for it. And that's, I mean, I didn't get the job and I didn't pass, but I still got paid $80 for my time, and that was for 2 hours. If you've ever had a code test that was 8 hours, that's just too much. I would just say, I think this code test is a little bit much, and I value my time. Is there any way that we could negotiate some sort of compensation for this? I really want to work there. Do you have a smaller code test I could take? I have other responsibilities in my life to make sure that I can make this move to your company. You just have to figure out a way to negotiate with a company. Another thing that comes along with asking for compensation when you are doing a code test that's really long is that if you do get compensated or you don't and you still want to do it, then you have set boundaries and the company knows that you have boundaries going into the job. And so you have to remember, it's like when you're negotiating salary, you're not going to be able to negotiate that number again on the job. It's going to be really difficult. You're just going to have your annual little raise. You got to have all of the boundaries that you want when you go into the job, because when you start putting up boundaries at the job, they're going to be like, what's wrong? What's going on here? Is there something wrong? Everything good? And it's not going to look like boundaries when you're putting up boundaries at work. It's just going to look like walls, and you're going to look like a completely different person than they interviewed. So you have to go in with all of the boundaries that you need, like not working overtime or only rarely working overtime, or giving them a hard time about it. If they want you to work overtime, you ask for more money, or you ask for more vacation, or you ask for compensation if they ask for more than just what the job wants you to do. And I know there's people out there that are watching that are going to be like, well, Josh, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And yeah, sometimes you do, but you'd be surprised how far you can get if you just put your foot down every now and then. A lot of people don't believe that, and I'm a firm believer of put your foot down and say, hey, no, this is not okay, or hey, can we talk about this for a second? Or if you feel really nervous, think about it as a manager. If someone's putting their foot down, that means that they have, like, oh, okay, well, let's hear him out for a second. Unless they're one of those really like low self-esteem managers that feels intimidated by anyone who tries to like critique what they say. I'm sure we've all had managers that are just like, no, that's not, no, you do what I say and that's my way or the highway. But when you put your foot down at work, that really shows that you respect yourself and that you also respect the company, but there is a work-life balance there, and you're going to establish that. So that's what compensation adds. And you have to remember, whatever work-life balance you have going in to the job is what you're going to maintain until you swap jobs. It's going to be really hard to change anything. You got to do all of the expectations and boundaries up front. All right, so the second type of job posting, which is fake, they're usually the ones that look like they're asking for a 3-for-1 job. They want a front-end developer and a back-end developer and a designer, all for one low salary, and they want you to be DevOps. And there's a meme that has been going around. It says, "Dear recruiters, if you're looking for Java, Python, PHP, React, Angular, PostgreSQL, Redis, MongoDB, AWS, S3, EC2, ECS, EKS, NIX system administration, Git and CI with TDD, Docker, Kubernetes," that is not a full-stack developer. That is an entire IT department. Yours truly. That's true. That's what they do. But the reason that recruiters and companies ask for this amount of stuff is so that they can claim that they could not find a qualified applicant, and then they can do the H-1B visas and get people from outside of the country who don't know about work-life balance here, and then they come here and they take advantage of the H-1B workers. This is kind of like a political subject, but a lot of people say, they're taking jobs from qualified workers, and it's not really fair to be mad at the workers that come here, right? They just want a better life. But instead, it's really kind of shitty of the companies to do this, where they post an entire IT department just so that they can bring people from outside the United States, pay them $50K a year, make them work 100 hours a week, and then say, if you don't, then you have to go back to your country. And if you are in the US on an H-1B visa and you lose your job, you only have like 3 weeks to find another one, or they kick you out and they send you back and you get deported. Think about how long it takes to get the ball rolling just when you want to apply to jobs. It's gonna take like at least a couple weeks to hear back from HR most of the time, especially for companies that offer H-1Bs. Those are usually bigger companies willing to do that because it costs money. Most people end up having to go back and then coming back again once they can get another visa. Those are the two types of fake job applications that I've found, and you should stay away from them, and you should always put your foot down if you feel like you're getting taken advantage of. Don't let a company crowdsource their application for free. I mean, that's pretty 4D chess, you know, that's pretty galaxy brain on the company part. They're hustling, right? I shouldn't even be saying this because I don't want any people to do this more, but I want you guys to be aware that this exists. I understand the struggle. I understand you can be really nervous and you just become a yes man because you really want that job and you're in your head about it and you're like, this is going to change my life, but don't get taken advantage of. That's all. That's all I have to say. Anyways, I hope this video has been informative. I hope it's been an eye-opener. If it has, do me a favor, click subscribe, click the little bell, click like, double smash, thumbs down if you hated the video, so I really know you hated the video, and leave a comment. Let me know what types of videos you'd like to see. I'm working on the Level Up documentary series. Like, I'm trying to figure out a way for people to apply, and then I'll fly out and we can document your hustle, and I can post on the channel, and we can inspire people. That's where we're going in 2020. All right, so that's it. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for being here.